Welcome to the Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week preview show presented by Mercy, the official orthopedics and sports medicine provider of the Missouri Valley Conference. With head coach Ben McCollum of the Drake Bulldogs, I'm Harry Schroeder. Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on your local Gray Media station on Matrix Midwest here in St. Louis. The Bulldogs will be hosting the Illinois State Redbirds. And Ben, you guys have had a terrific start. Had a little hiccup and then back on the winning ways. Just talk about your early experience in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been fun scouting new teams and trying to figure out exactly how you're going to win basketball games. Obviously, going on the road's been great, seeing new venues, that sort of thing. I think with our group, we started hot, and then sometimes when you start hot, sometimes I don't know, you drink the poison, if you will, and then you just have to recalibrate yourself, which is what I felt our kids have done at this point, and now it's just continuing to grow and get better.
For the early part of the season, you were playing 7, 8 guys. In the last couple of games, you've expanded the playing time of some of your other players. But some of that's been related to matchups, hasn't it? Been like this player might fit this role against this team differently.
Yeah, we had a few injuries, so there's a couple injury things in there. But the other part of that is, we have good players and good depth. I think too often what I've found is coaches play a certain amount of guys. So I'm going to play 8 to 9 guys, no matter if those 8 to 9 guys are totally ready to go. And we just didn't have, 9 guys ready to go for a while, meaning you have to earn that in practice and get yourself to a level that you're completely dependable, not just a better player or a really good player and deserve to play, but earn that. And then once you earn that, then you get yourself into the lineup. And I think those guys have done a great job of fighting and competing for those spots. And so now we're able to add some depth to it and play more guys. And it's certainly helped us up to this point.
What did you see in Bennett Sturts in high school that caused you to recruit him? Obviously, he was a terrific player, and we've seen just amazing results here in the Missouri Valley Conference. Played with you at Northwest Missouri, but what did you see in him way back in high school?
Yeah, you have to, obviously a 6'4" point guard is the first thing, but the other part of that is, with his AAU team, it was more pass and cut, and he's probably more of a ball screen guy. And so it was difficult to pick up on some of those things. You have to really, really pay attention and watch. And then you see him in high school, and you're like, okay, he can really read ball screens, pick and rolls, etc. Got a great feel, great IQ, understands it, got a knack for getting steals. And then you have to see, okay, physically, can he last in the MIAA at the time? And we thought that he could. And he did, right away. He was able to take control of our team at Northwest Missouri, and then here, obviously the same thing. So it's just trust in your own eyes, trust in what you see rather than what somebody else does, and our staff did a good job of evaluating that in the recruiting process.
You guys have done a terrific job on the glass. Talk about the mentality that a team has to have. You're not a very big team. The mentality a team has to have to be a solid rebounding team and make that your asset.
Yeah, I think it's partly the way teams have guarded us too. There's a lot of, I don't know what, for lack of a better way to say it, don't guard somebody in this league, meaning they just won't guard somebody and help somewhere else. And naturally, you're going to give something up. I think some people, when they don't get guarded, they feel disrespected and they kind of just space and pout and then run back on defense. And so our guys just they're just going to crash the offensive glass. They're going to screen a little bit better, but and so then we're able to get some offensive rebounds with that. And it's just the nature of how we have to win. I think every team's a little bit different. And coming from Division II, you have years. We had years where we had 5 guys that shot 40+% from 3, and then you have years like this where you have 3 guys that really shoot a high percentage from 3, and so. It's just how we've had to win, and you just got to do whatever it takes and adjust and change, and our kids have done a good job of that.
And it really is year by year, roster by roster, how you have to figure out how to win, isn't it?
Yeah, Division II it is for sure, and now it's becoming that way at Division I. You don't like the level that we come from. you don't really always pick exactly who you want. Obviously, you want the players that you get, but you don't just say, okay, I want to go get this 6'8" guy that can shoot. Okay, I want to go get this point guard that can really get downhill and get in the paint. It's like, nah, sometimes you just have to take the best player and then figure it out after the fact. And so you're always adapting to different lineups and figuring out ways to score. And I think that's really benefited us at this level because we're used to doing that, where we don't just get to pick the players that we want all the time. And so, we've just adapted to our personnel, and this is the best way for these guys to be able to win. And, hopefully we can, again, continue down that path.
Continuing that thought, defense really is super important to winning. And you guys are one of the top defensive teams in the country. Talk about your defensive mindset as well as your team's mindset on that end of the floor.
Yeah, that's always been a staple of any team that we've coached. I would probably say, obviously people talk about our offensive numbers throughout the years, but I would always say that probably a defensive coach first, and that's why we ended up getting good on offense. I think so often late in season, particularly in tournament settings, the game naturally slows itself down. And so our theory was always, how do we beat the best? How do we win in a tournament setting? And being able to get stops and win in the margins in regards to that is the best way to take luck out of the equation. And that's why we ended up getting really good. That's why we, recruit to that. We recruit guys that are essentially fighters, that want to guard and want to fight and want to compete and want to get 50-50 balls. And it's just the mentality that we've had, and it's the mentality that I've always enjoyed coaching.
And talking about defending some people, the Illinois State Redbirds have some explosive guys. Chase Walker is a handful in the middle. Kinziger is terrific outside. Talk about how you slow down the Redbirds.
I think for us, I think they're really explosive offensively. They shoot it well. How do you slow them down? I think you just play hard and be who you are. I don't think there's anything like, there's no special formula. I don't know. I watch a lot of Division I basketball, watch a lot of NBA, watch, just a lot of basketball. And I think too often guys that overthink it and get carried away with these elaborate game plans. Maybe they can win one game because of it, but I think it ends up hurting you 3, 4, 5 games down the road, because you just basically what you're telling your team is, we can't guard you straight up, so we're going to junk it up and change things. And for us, we just try to guard how we guard for the most part, with some little nuances in there, and that's how we'll end up guarding them.
But Walker might be the biggest handful in the middle. That there might be others, but Walker's a really interesting matchup for you guys.
Oh yeah, he's a good player. He's an interesting matchup for everybody. He's
Yeah.
pretty darn good player. I mean, their whole team's really good. I mean, they're really balanced, and outside of him and their point guard, and they play extremely hard. They've got kids that are bought in. They've got good energy, and it's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup for everybody, though. I don't think it's. I think it's just what you get in the Missouri Valley is you get these really good players, and him in particular, because of how many things he can do and how well he passes, how well he shoots. And so it's going to be a problem regardless. It's just, hopefully we can limit his touches and limit his ability to make people better. And, we'll see what happens.
Playing at home this week, but home and road, how different are those games? I know coaches try to play it down. Broadcasters try to play it up. Like, what's the real balance in all of that?
Boy, I hate to say it, and I'm playing it down. I don't know. I don't. We've always been the type that enjoys the road and just have and enjoyed the home games. I don't know. I think sometimes you overthink those things. I think immature teams probably struggle on the road a lot more. I would say that. I think the more immature you are, the more difficult it is to go on the road. And our guys probably use that as a badge of courage, and just the toughness piece of it, like toughness travels. And so we try to travel well and see if we can get wins on the road.
My last question is about Ferguson, Nate Ferguson. He's kind of the one guy that stuck around and just talk about the role that he plays on your team. I've been impressed with the just the way he's been in the lineup a lot or not at various times, but really contributing for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's been great. He's bought in since day one. He's had really good games, and like you said, in and out of the lineup to a certain level. It's a tough role to be a part of, but the games that he's in, like for instance Bradley, he was phenomenal defensively. He was phenomenal offensively, and he is a weapon. And so it's just that's probably more matchup driven than anything. Is just what you need for that particular game. But he's done a good job of buying in and sticking with it regardless of how many minutes he gets, in and out of the lineup.
Appreciate your time today. That's head coach Ben McCollum of the Drake Bulldogs. Our Wednesday night coverage starts at 8 p.m. Central. For more information on where you can catch these games, visit mvc-sports.com. For the Missouri Valley Conference, I'm Harry Schroeder.